Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to our third episode of the Hawk Pod. Today we have a personal trainer, a registered personal trainer. He's a very good friend of mine. His name's Ilan, and we'll be talking about his journey. And then later on, we'll talk about why fitness is a good thing to have in your life. So, Ilan, take over.
Hi guys, my name is Ilan Troyansky. Um, and I'm
Why
gonna
don't
be
you tell us a bit about yourself?
okay. So basically, I grew up as an athlete. Okay, so I'm also a kinesiology student, going to York, third year. So I do have knowledge about nutrition aspects, biomechanics of it, whatever. But essentially, I grew up as an athlete. I've always been interested in any single sport, mainly soccer. But then I decided to take, a gym class, and that's how they got together
Awesome.
up until now. Can I begin?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So as you can see, I went from that little scrawny twig to the guy on the right. And so in the beginning, okay, uh, in grade 10 we had a gym class, and then in grade 11 we had the option to change it into a fitness class. So I was interested. Because I wanted to pack up some muscle. Like it was about confidence, I guess, at that point. So I signed up, and obviously back then I didn't have any knowledge about anything. Like the only thing I did was chest and biceps on the daily. Like
Yeah.
that was the only thing I did. My diet was completely horrible. Like I would eat ice cream for dinner. It was very, very bad.
Sounds delicious, though.
It was delicious, but it was, oh man, I didn't get any nutrients.
Okay.
um but yeah, I fell in love with it right away. Like I loved getting a pump. I loved working out. I loved lifting, and eventually just started off from there. So moving on, after that grade 11 fitness class, I signed up to the gym. um and in the beginning, like I focused more on just trying out exercises. So I would do like total body splits, just trying to get the hang of it. And I gained some knowledge. So as you can see, like the muscles started coming in. I guess you can call it newbie gains. Um, but it was still inconsistent. My diet was still pretty bad. I started eating a bit more because I knew that's what I needed to do to gain muscle, but I still didn't know what to eat. Right.
What was kind of your reference point at the beginning? So, like, who did you follow, or did you go to the gym with anyone when you first started?
So reference points.
Like, where did you learn?
YouTube mainly. YouTube was a big thing. There's so many fitness influencers out there. Now, obviously, a lot of it is misinformation. Obviously, a lot of people are on steroids, so it gives you false hopes and false expectations. But mainly from there. I also had a guy, Josh Crispo.
Okay.
He still is a bodybuilder, so he gave me some tips and knowledge back then. So I used that.
Yeah, it's always good to look online because there's a lot of research. So it's always important to have a critical eye because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're trying to sell you something. So be
Yeah.
cognizant and take that into account.
You
Awesome.
take little things from everywhere,
Yeah.
So then grade 12 came along. Still didn't have proper knowledge on nutrition, but I started being consistent with each body part and workout. So instead of doing like chest whenever I wanted to, I would start incorporating my legs, my back, stuff like that. And again, I signed up for the grade 12 fitness class, and that's where I improved my training regimen. So I was training with my partner at that time, and we both kind of pushed ourselves, and gains were made a bit from the previous year. And then I got to university. So this was where I decided I'm like, this is it. I need to step on the gas right now. I need to improve on my nutrition. I need to go full in and no backing out. So I decided to go in a very heavy dirty bulk. Okay. This was like, it wasn't doable. Like, I don't know
For
how
the
I
people
did
who
it.
don't know what a dirty bulk is, do you mind explaining?
Dirty bulk is basically eating everything and anything you can. It doesn't even matter about the macronutrients. It's literally just getting everything you can into your system to put on size. So I ate every single 2 hours, so 4 to 5,000 calories, and I obviously knew you needed protein and a lot of carbs to fuel your workout. So what I did was I had a plate, right, a big square plate. half of it was rice or any other carb source. Another half of it was chicken or beef. And I ate that 6 times a day.
What about the vegetables?
Vegetables, maybe once or twice.
It's dirty bulk. It's a dirty bulk.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And let's say on the weekends, like I would get home from the gym and I would eat my meal. And then my friends would be like, "Oh, we're going to a restaurant. Do you want to come?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"You know what? Sure. Like, I might as well get some more calories in."
So would you say going to the gym or eating was the most important part of getting big?
I would say eating, because if I still didn't eat but train the same, I would not get to where I am today. Obviously, I don't recommend going with a dirty bulk route because you do get very puffy and you do get a lot of fat and you have to cut afterwards anyways. But for that time being, I guess I was okay with it.
All right. So what about 2019? Do you have something?
2019. So this was even better. So the picture on the right, I might look lean, but it was because I focused on my abdominals and my obliques, and I worked them every second day. So even though I was pretty fluffy at that point, as long as your abs are thick, you can still see them under all that fat. But then on the right, once I got into my second year in university, I decided, you know what, I'm going to step back from the dirty bulk. I'm going to have maybe 100 to 200 calories surplus. And that ultimately allowed me to be a little leaner and, you know, still feel good, still build muscle, still do everything I can. So there's really no difference except the amount of fat that you're accumulating. You're still going to get the same amount of muscle with both amount of calories as long as the macronutrients are the same. Mm-hmm. You know, and I would say progress has been made from that year, but would you like me to continue?
So here you were like in between learning a little bit better.
Yeah. I would say my knowledge definitely got better. So I started incorporating more, vitamins. I started supplementing a bit with magnesium, vitamin B complex, like all the necessary stuff, omega-3s, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. You got a 2020 slide?
Yep. Oh. This is me now. So more knowledge, obviously. This is obviously the current state. I would say I'm pretty good with everything now. Like I have everything that I need to succeed and move further on.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So let's say there's somebody who's, they're going to the gym consistently, but they're not, they're trying to eat more, they're trying to eat cleaner, they're trying to work harder at the gym, but maybe they're not seeing the same results as you've seen. What is some advice you would give them in order to take it to the next level?
Advice. Okay. Well, first things first, they need to educate themselves. I unfortunately didn't do that for the first 2 years, and that was my fault because I could have seen a lot more progress. But that's the number one rule: educate yourself. Nutrition, workout, everything like that. Mm-hmm. Supplements, I wouldn't say it's necessary for that time being because you can get everything through your diet, right? It's just an extra helping hand if you don't have time in your day, whatever. Another big thing is consistency. If you don't have consistency, then you're not going to develop dedication. You're not going to be able to continue.
So what's your kind of favorite places to look for advice or knowledge? Like, is there a certain YouTuber that you watch or a certain book that you read that like kind of started the ball rolling?
YouTuber. So back then it was mainly Jeff Side, I think. He was a very big name back then, like all those aesthetic gods or whatever. It was like one big group. But moving on right now, I watch Greg Doucette. He has like almost like a cult following. He's very, very knowledgeable. Another influencer they're watching, Mike Thurston. Definitely recommend that guy. But again, like you need to look at a bunch of different sources and kind of do your own thing with it. Like you can't follow one plan because that plan might not work for you.
But I think the more important thing is that it doesn't come from YouTube. It doesn't come from the books you read. It comes from within. If you're not the one that's pushing yourself, looking at yourself critically. Oh, maybe I went a little too hard at the gym. I needed to step back a bit because I won't be able to train for the next 4 days. You
Yeah.
need to be that guy, because all these YouTubers, once again, they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to make you watch more videos and such. So they're not always the best people, but I think your own opinion, you know yourself the best.
And that comes with experience. Like you just need to know your body. You know?
Yeah, I think people have like a false conception that when they watch these like influencers or whatever, it's kind of like a utopia that if you do what they say, then you're gonna look like them or all this stuff. It's more like a trial and error process. So you
Yeah.
go, you see what works, you come back, you analyze what you did, and you go back with something new that you learned, or you stick with what works and just go from there.
Mhm.
I fully agree. It just comes with experience.
Do you have more to go on your slide, Ilan?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, awesome. So I'll switch to my slide now.
Sure.
My slideshow. Did you stop your share, Ilan?
Now I did.
Awesome. Okay. So right now I'm gonna make the case for exercise. Why you should exercise. Okay? Like you gotta make the choice. So let me make my argument. So there's so many benefits to exercise, and at the surface, you get them in your physical health, your emotional health, mental and social health. And let's dive a little deeper into what this means. So for physical benefits, I divide it into short term and long term. So the problem with us at our age group is we're young, we're healthy, we're well-oiled machines. So the short-term benefit effects are more geared towards somebody who's a little weaker or like a little older than you. So right now our bodies are the best they're ever going to be. So our stroke volume, our heart rate, our respiratory system, they're all the best. Our energy system, our muscular system are the best. So you might see a little bit of short-term improvements, but it's also not going to be as drastic as you would see with the age. But I think something that's more important for us is our long-term effects. So for long-term effects, one of the biggest thing exercise does, it reduces your risk of chronic diseases. What are chronic diseases? Cardiovascular disease, like a heart attack, a stroke, cancers of your stomach, kidney, your lungs, and type 2 diabetes. These are nasty diseases you don't want in your life, and you kind of want to minimize your risk. And exercise is the best way to do so. Next, your bone health. So exercise actually increases your bone density, puts more calcium in your bones, and it makes them stronger, more rigid structures. So with age, you naturally lose bone density. And this manifests like in a severe case as osteoporosis in older people. So this makes your bones very brittle, high risk of fractures, especially the hip. So with exercise, you decrease your risk of osteoporosis, osteopenia, cancer, cardiovascular disease, nasty stuff, and it's also fun. So let's look at our cardiovascular health. So like I said before, CVD, your heart attack stuff.
It's not even that it's fun, it's that it feels very good. Like your body thanks you for doing it.
Exactly. So I'll dive into that a little more when we get to social and emotional. So your lung functions better, your blood pressure gets lowered, your cholesterol looks better, your blood lipid profile looks better.
Literally, there's no reason not to do it.
There's really like the only downside of exercise is the risk of injury, but once again, go slowly. Don't push yourself too hard.
It outweighs the risk.
Yeah, because the physical injury that you get in the gym will always not be as drastic as one of these kinds
as cancer.
Yeah,
exactly.
You recover from those after a short or maybe even a year or whatever it is. But this one can, it can kill you.
And once again, like the risks that come with the gym, you can easily minimize them with stretching. No, like don't lift with your ego. Lift with what you know you can do. Just don't push yourself too hard that you don't need to be pushed. You're not an Olympic athlete.
It doesn't even need to be the gym. It could be as simple as just going for a walk outside daily. It's so simple and people don't understand that. Like you can do so many stuff for your health. Like people have this mindset that they need to keep on lifting. Oh, that's the only way I'm going to get healthier and bigger. Like, no, to get healthy, you just need to do exercise. Exercise can be anything.
2.5 hours a week.
Yeah.
2.5 hours a week. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And that's very doable. It's very doable. So now let's look at the emotional benefits. So exercise decreases stuff that you don't want in your life, very simply. Anger, anxiety, confusion, depression, headaches, stress, and tension. You don't want that, like who knows how it works, but you don't want this. You want to get rid of this. Very simple. It's like the crazy girlfriend. You get rid of her.
Not even
No.
that. It's what when you do feel these emotions, exercising is a good way to relieve them. So, if you're angry, you didn't do well in an assignment, instead of taking it out on other people or, keeping it internal, you can go to the gym and take it out there. Or,
Exactly.
you're feeling anxious, you can go to the gym. All this kind of
Especially
stuff
during these
gets
times,
released. Yeah.
especially right now during exam season. Best thing to do.
All right. So let's look what it gives you. What like this new girlfriend's gonna be. Like this new, like very good looking, very nice girl. So she's assertive, she's confident, she's emotionally stable, like all these great features you want. So like very simply, you want this in your life, exercise. It gives you the good girlfriend. Anything you guys want to add?
I completely agree. There's nothing to add. It's all evident, you know.
So the National Institute on Aging had like a nice infographic. So I just screen clipped them. It reduces feelings of depression. This is for emotional health. It enhances your mood and overall well-being, increases your energy, improves your sleep. Like Noah said before, the next time you're feeling down, anxious, or stressed, start moving, exercise, lift a weight, go on a walk, do something to exert yourself.
It's also a big thing on sleep. A lot of people, they can't sleep because they don't do anything all day. Their body's relaxing all the time. When you go to the gym and you really push yourself, your body becomes tired. It becomes easier to sleep, and also it's also you sleep better.
Yeah.
I also want to add on the fact that people neglect sleep. They don't sleep the proper amount, and that has a huge effect on your body. That's also an essential with nutrition and your training.
Well,
And
what's
like,
your sleep schedule like, Ilan?
My sleep schedule, I try to get daily 8 to 9 hours.
Mm-hmm.
sleep deprivation can like knock off 20 IQ points. So you don't want that as a student.
Yeah.
Just sleep. So let's look at the mental benefits. So, like we said before, your sleep gets better, your mood gets better, your stress is relieved, your energy and stamina is way up. The tiredness, your mental acuity, how sharp you are, way up. And this was from the Primary Care Companion, the Journal of Psychiatry. And they made the point here that the health benefits from regular exercise should be emphasized and reinforced by every mental health professional, meaning that this is good advice for everybody, no matter who you are. Anything you guys want to add?
Well, Dr. Kim Dawson kind of said that not exercising should be looked at almost like smoking, in a sense that when you don't do it, all these kind of bad emotions and mental illnesses are much more likely to occur. But when you exercise, you improve all these kinds of things that you listed, and you really start to see an increase in benefits in your life. You feel
Mhm.
better and all this kind of stuff.
So, for social benefits, when you think of exercise, you're usually in a group scenario setting. You're in the gym, you're on a team sport, you're in a class like a cycling class. And basically, what this helps you develop is your team building and group work skills. When you have something in common with this group, you're there, you're feeling the burn, you have something in common, and you can work towards this goal. It also helps you deal with negative emotions. You don't come off as um, like a whatever the name for the term for it is, but like
Crazy
a
person.
downer. Yeah, you don't want to
Okay.
be that really like person with who's pessimistic, has a negative outlook on life. Just go to the gym, you'll feel better. And also, it develops discipline, motivation, and resiliency.
That
Like,
is key.
think of it. When I didn't work out, I was like, I would like watch TV until 2 a.m. I wouldn't do my homework. I don't have any motivation. I don't have resiliency. But then I'm going to the gym. I develop the sense of discipline. I'm going to the gym every day. This discipline carries over into me doing my homework every day. It carries over to me having a consistent bedtime every day. Also, it gives me motivation because I'm seeing these myself look physically better. I look like I'm more muscularly developed. It motivates me, and this motivation carries over once again to other things in life. I do my homework now. And for resiliency is being able to adapt to whatever life throws at you. Essentially, the same thing as the gym. You throw yourself all these tough tasks. I'm going to lift this heavy dumbbell over my head. That's tough. You're being resilient physically. And this, once again, the mindset carries over to life. And I guess my final statement is some kind of like what Kim Dawson said. It would be silly not to exercise because of all these amazing benefits you get. Like it should be looked at as like smoking or not sleeping, not eating McDonald's every day. It's just silly not to exercise. And to see these effects, you need 2.5 hours a week, which is very doable. That's like 15 minutes a day. Do you guys have a final argument for why somebody should exercise? Your closing statement.
Clothing
I
statement.
mean, just to get started, I guess, Ilan, you can finish this off here. But
Yeah.
just to get started, a lot of people look at exercise like it's, a very difficult task to do because they associate it with other people who go to the gym every day and lift heavy weights and are already in that routine. But people don't realize that exercise is as simple as going on like a 10-minute walk every day, or, even walking to get a coffee, something like that. As long as you're moving, it's what when you move, it moves your life, kind of. So like you start moving a little bit, next day you move a little bit more, and then a little bit more. You can push yourself, and then over the long term, you really start to see a lot of benefits.
And I want to build on that point that you mentioned earlier that like the social media aspect right now is just showing you false realities. Like it might be putting you down, like, and you might think that, oh, like I have to do so much work just to look like that, when in reality, like, you just need 2.5 hours. You can just walk. You can just walk daily, and you still get healthy benefits, and you get all these toxins out of your body. Like it literally improves your life by so much. It's just there's no reason not to do it.
And also, nobody's starts off going to the gym every day, lifting heavy weights, being this super athlete. Everybody starts at zero, right? It's
Yeah.
all about showing your consistency, your dedication. Those are the people who are most dedicated.
Over time,
Those-
it shows.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of people who are conscious about going to the gym. They think people are looking at them, and I think we can all agree on the fact that nobody looks at anybody when they're at the gym. Everybody's there to work on themselves, and even if they do look at you, it's more of they see someone who's trying to improve themselves, which is it actually looks good on you to be there. So yeah, I think we can leave it
There's
off
a
on
common goal of personal improvement, and nobody's going to look at you and say, what a loser. Everybody's going to look at you and say, hey, he's kind of like me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Everybody starts somewhere. Yeah.
positive environment.
All right, so I think it's a good time to cut off this podcast. Once again, thank you, Ilan, for coming on our show,
course.
and thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a good night, day, morning, evening, afternoon. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.